I'm on a quest to PVC my pool.
We've got a primer, PVC glue, sanding block and a saw. And with these items I'm going to convert my pool from plastic pipes to PVC. I have bought a selection of pipes. They're 32mm, 40mm and 50mm. It's 50mm because that's the size of the pump. 32mm was the size of the connector for these guys, and I wanted to play around with 40mm. So the idea is I can take the 32mm and slot it on the end of this pipe and I'll be good. Effectively I need to get this one in here and this one at the top. But before I can do that I need a filter. What my boss did last year was use one of these as a filter. And what I've done is I've taken the impeller out, and what we can do is we can fill this full of some sort of filter material. I've got a few that I'm going to try out and see which is best. I also may have gone slightly overboard because I wanted some valves to be able to shut off the water, to change the filter, change the basket. I probably should have downgraded from 50 straight down to 40 rather than buying the 50 valves, but put these back on. I took them off because I was testing out various pipes. That's our 50mm pipe. And then we just need the valve on here and potentially some sort of angle to it. I've also bought a few of these, which are 50mm down to 32mm and a 40mm. So they should be interesting. That's not the nicest of noises. Okay. And one thing I've read is we need to deburr this. As you can see, but that is not the nicest of cuts. With these valves I've got a flow indicator on here. So the idea, I think I'll prefer it that way round. Just make sure this still opens up. Yeah, fine. I mean, to be fair, this one doesn't really need a lot. So let's try and build this one up. This will connect on there, and then that will go into the 50mm pipe. Unfortunately, where I've cut that, it's not quite the straightest of edges, which, I mean, to be fair, the edge I was given when I bought it isn't straight either. But unfortunately doing this by hand is a lot harder than with a machine. So this adapter is 50mm, so it's the same size. So what you need is a union to connect that into, to then connect that pipe. And that would be perfect if I didn't want one of these on the other end. So I was to put that on there. It seems to be fine, seems weight wise. What I wouldn't give for a table saw, bench saw, band saw. And what I definitely want to see is some sort of gap between the two. Otherwise it just means it's too short somewhere. So how far does this come round? Not very. I'm curious. I think that's more the distance. I want a shorter piece than this. I've been thinking about this, and I don't want a hard PVC between here and here. Even though I've got this adapter, I can do it. The trouble is, this pump, well, no, this filter now, I'm going to need to have it at different heights. Certainly because if it was round here, it makes sense. Because it wouldn't be going anywhere. Now what I did try, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, I think we're going to find out, is I have these this A-type joint as well as this B-type one. And I also bought this. It's a 40mm, I want to say a union, but it's got a screw on it that you can take apart. And what I've found is if I take this out and that, that looks like it'll be a perfect fit. So I just go from 40mm here and then have a connector there with a pipe. And I do have, because I've got a heat map somewhere, a very short pipe. So with that I can do, and then on this end I can just have it directly into the hose, and that would push in theory straight into the elbow joint, obviously the right way round because the lip needs to go on the inside, and then we would need a 40mm pipe. Okay, it's the next morning and I need to get it set up, make sure it works. Now, the one thing I haven't done is I need to put these O-rings on the pump. And what I'm going to do is a little bit of silicone grease, just to make sure they're a little bit watertight. It worked wonders on the Bestway pump last year. So we're going to put a clip on this one. Okay. So let's close that off. So I need to do this quickly. Otherwise I'll get wet. And then this one, that'll go on there. Okay. So open up that valve. Oh, I've not tightened the lid enough. Also not apparently tightened it there either. So is there any water leaking out or in? So the moment It looks like this adapter is leaking, but from where? Okay, I think that's got it. Right. I just need to undo the cable tie. And then just plug it into the power. The one thing I never actually figured out, or probably never tested because I wasn't trying to put water into it, was how the hell do you turn it on? Okay, now the mains is on. Okay, that's doing a lot better than I expected it to do. It's making a little bit of noise, but that's acceptable. You can go in now. Just be careful with this water pump, because what are you on about? It's the same water that was before.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go!
It may not have been necessary, but removing that extra 90-degree angle makes the system feel a lot nicer. And it felt weird, and it gave me a chance to put in that shut-off valve, which is actually really useful.